Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It was meant to be a quiet moment, a rare pocket of calm. Gethin Jones, the ever-smiling face of BBC Morning Live, had stepped out of the studio for a short breather between segments. With the city humming around him, he'd craved nothing more than a brisk walk, a coffee, and perhaps a moment to scroll through his phone without a producer's voice in his ear. But what awaited him outside wasn't serenity. It was something he would later call an absolute spectacle. And it left him reeling. The day had started like any other. Gethin had arrived at the studio just after 5 a.m., his usual charming self, impeccably dressed with just the right amount of bedhead to be TV-friendly. He'd already interviewed a doctor about heat stroke, participated in a cooking segment involving chickpea flour, and managed to make the nation laugh by accidentally referring to quinoa as quinoa. At around 9:20 a.m., with 10 minutes before the next live segment, Gethin stepped outside for air. He'd forgotten his phone, but that didn't matter. The sun was out. A London breeze whispered along the pavement. He took a deep breath and smiled, stretching his arms wide. But then, a noise. A shriek? A squeal? It was hard to tell. He turned toward the sound instinctively, stepping around the corner toward the main road. What he saw next would haunt him for the rest of the day, and possibly the rest of his life. It was chaos dressed in lycra. Glitter flew through the air like airborne confetti. A woman dressed as what could only be described as a hybrid of Mary Poppins and a circus ringleader was performing some sort of interpretive dance on the roof of a bright pink van. And she wasn't alone. A troupe of what Gethin would later describe as heavily enthusiastic performance artists had overtaken the small square outside the studio. There were bubbles. There were rubber chickens. There was, for some reason, a man attempting to juggle flaming pineapples while reciting Shakespeare. It wasn't a protest. It wasn't a flash mob. It was something far more confusing, a self-expression explosion, according to the rainbow banner held aloft by a dog in sunglasses. Gethin stood frozen. His morning coffee, just purchased from a nearby kiosk, slowly tilted in his hand and splashed onto his trousers. But he didn't move. His mind, finely tuned to calmness after years of live broadcasting mishaps, could not process the kaleidoscopic bedlam before him. I didn't know where to look, he confessed later to co-host Helen Skelton. It was like my senses were assaulted with joy, confusion, and possibly the faint smell of marmite. And it wasn't just visual, the soundscape was worse. A kazoo orchestra started up just as someone began reading slam poetry about yeast infections. Someone screamed, "DBEs no," before tossing a handful of glitter into the air and dashing into a nearby pret-a-manger. Gethin blinked. He turned to a passerby for clarification. The man, shirtless and holding a unicycle, just gave him a solemn nod and whispered, "Tuesday." That's when Gethin broke. He walked back into the studio, slowly muttering about the absurdity of it all. A runner tried to stop him to attach a mic, but he batted her away gently and wandered to the dressing room like a war veteran returning from battle. 10 minutes later, live on air, he tried to carry on. He read the teleprompter, nodded along as a guest explained how to make eco-friendly cleaning products, and even attempted a smile. But he wasn't the same. His voice wavered. His eyes had a distant glaze. When asked how his break had been, he paused for a long moment before simply saying, "Unexpected." Clips of Gethin's haunted expression went viral. Twitter exploded with theories. Did Gethin witness a portal to another realm? What did the bees know? #glitter trauma is real. We must raise awareness. Fans flooded Morning Live with concern. But viewers weren't convinced. A petition titled "Protect Gethin from Street Spectacles" amassed over 12,000 signatures in a matter of hours. The next day, Gethin returned to the show. He looked fresher, though still slightly wide-eyed. "I want to thank everyone for their concern," he began, addressing the camera. It turns out what I witnessed was a performance piece titled Glitter is the New Silence by a local art collective. They were passionate and loud. He paused, collected himself, and added, I have since spoken to a man named Rocket Dave who assured me no one was harmed, emotionally or otherwise. Well, except perhaps me. The studio erupted in laughter, and a collective sigh of relief swept through the nation. Gethin was back. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Netflix World 24 YouTube channel for more update news.